Hello, friend. Thank you so much for joining me over on YouTube. I just want to give you a quick heads up that the training that you're about to see was originally recorded via Facebook Live over on our Facebook page. If you like what you see and would like to learn more, make sure you join us over on Facebook for weekly tips and tricks to help you grow your direct sales business and work smarter, not harder. Okay. So let's talk about it. So what is a push month? Have you guys, first of all, raise your hand. Have you ever heard me talk about this before? Are you familiar with what I mean when I say push month? Push month. Anybody familiar with that? So if you haven't heard me talk about it before, you may be wondering, what in the heck is she talking about? What in the world is she talking about? Okay. So a push month is just a funny phrase. This is something that I learned when I was in the field. It's really just a funny way to think of, or a funny word or phrase to use to think about a month where you focus on one thing that really accelerates your business. So it is something that you do. It is something that you focus on to really accelerate your business for a short period of time. Some people will do weeks. I like a month because it gives me time to kind of get some traction. Okay. So let's talk about why it's important. Guys, I have found it is a super effective way to build momentum in a specific area of your business, okay? So if you're working on bookings, like our booster bookings challenge this week, if you're working on bookings, obviously that's a great way to boost your bookings and to like go full throttle, all right? If you're working on a different platform, like you're like, okay, I really want to work on Instagram. A push month for Instagram might be, I'm going to try to get content out there every single day. If it's your VIP group, if you're like, man, I really want to ramp up my VIP group, get some systems in place for my VIP group and creating content, maybe that's what you do. Okay. So that's kind of what a push month is. It's just a concentrated focus period of time on one activity. And so why am I talking about this right now? Guys, spring is the perfect time for a push month. And let me explain why. Has anybody ever heard of that 30, 60, 90 rule? Anybody ever heard of that? If you haven't, I've talked about it a bunch. So the 30, 60, 90 rule says that everything you do affects your business. Everything you do or don't do right now affects your business 30, 60, and 90 days from now. Okay. So if you aren't consistently booking parties right now, guess when you're going to feel it? 90 days from now. Okay. You're really going to feel it then. Okay. If you aren't consistently posting in your VIP group, when are you going to feel it? Probably 90 days from now. So anytime something was happening in my business, if there was something that I was struggling with or something like that, I would always look back and I'm like, oh, dadgummit, that was like 90 days ago. This is what was happening. So you might start to see little bits of it at that 30 and 60 day mark. But when it really hits is that 90-day mark. Okay. So what's coming up, guys, we're towards the end of March. What's coming up in the next 30, 60, 90 days? Pretty much like 70, 80 days. Summer. Okay. Summer. And I know if you've been around direct sales for a hot minute, you've probably heard people talk about the summer slump, right? I am not a believer in the summer slump. In fact, I'm not a believer in J months in general, because J months and the summer tended to be my best months in the business because of these push months, because I knew it was coming and I started to prepare for it 90 days in advance. Make sense? So here's what I want you guys to think about. Okay. Here's some ways that some ideas for a push month, okay? And so here's what I'm challenging you guys to do today. I want you to think about April being a push month for you, for your business, because I want you to have a stellar June and July. I want you to have some systems in place before the crazy of the summer. Because listen, we homeschool, so stuff gets all sorts of crazy when we get out for summer. We're like, we don't wake up at the same times. All the books, like there's no routine. There's no routine in the summer. Like we just play. And so I want to be able to do that. I want to build that momentum in April so that I can actually enjoy. So all my systems are in place. I'm ramped up enough that I don't have to be hustling to book parties or to do other stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. So ideas for a push month. First of all, booking parties. So let's pretend that you're like, oh, the summer hits me every single time. Like I really don't want to feel that this summer. So what I would suggest is April is your push month for bookings. that means that you max out your schedule. Like you just go after it. You cram as many parties as you physically can into your month. Because what's going to happen? You're going to get your bookings off of that and your bookings off of that. And what's also going to happen, friends, is that you're going to solidify your booking systems because you're doing it more. I want to say real quick, because I know this is some popular beliefs in some direct sellers, is that you can just do a few parties and it's fine. Well, that's great if that's your goal, but it's really hard to do just a few parties in a month. I mean, I get it if you want to be a hobbyist, but if you really want your business to be stable, it is much easier to do more. Okay, it's much easier to do more because you've got patterns, you've got habits, you've got things that are built that actually makes it easier to do more than for me, it was easier to do 8 parties than it was to do 4. I know that seems counterintuitive, but at 8 to 12 parties, it was like boom, 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 boom. I knew exactly what my week was like. I knew exactly what my host coaching was like. There was none of this start, stop nonsense, because that's when it gets real herky jerky in your schedule and in your cadence to your week. It is much, much easier to have a habit of 2 to 3 parties every single week. Okay, makes sense? So booking parties. So if you want to build some serious momentum in your business, I would challenge you to book as many parties as you can for the month of April. Like, go after it. Yes, I know Easter. Yes, I know some people got spring break, but that does not mean everybody can't do parties. Okay, so go after it in April. You could also, guys, another way that you could do some, if you're like, my party schedule's solid, man, I am good, it's predictable, I am great, right? Oh, another thing, guys, booking parties, if you do a bunch in April, that money could feed your summer travel. Just saying, I just thought about that. Like, if you're having a really stellar April, you're earning those commissions most likely end of April, early May, which could feed your summer vacations. Just thinking about that. So it's benefits to your business schedule, but also benefits to your commission check, okay, in your summer vacations, okay? All right. And Julie said, and join the booking challenge. Yes, join the booking challenge because you need to max out your bookings, okay? So the other thing you could do is, if you're like, okay, my bookings are solid, what if you did a recruiting push month? What if you did a recruiting push month, okay? Where you're like, you know what? I'm going to nail down my recruiting systems. I am going to, grow my team. I'm going to nail down my onboarding because I've got lots of people to work with. That's another thing that you could do. And that's also good for your summer, because they're brand new. So they're going to have that momentum still built in their business, which means all of your old team members, your veteran team members who might have a tendency to hit that slump, you've got new, fresh blood coming into your team, which is great for stabilizing your monthly income. See, it's that 30, 60, 90 rule. It doesn't feel bad in the moment when you're slacking off, but man, it hits you later and you're like, oh, I know better than that. I know better, but we do it anyway. Okay. Another thing that you can do for a push month, if you're like, okay, I feel good about my bookings, I feel stable about my recruiting, like I'm booking 2 parties, I'm averaging 2 parties from every party, I'm recruiting 1 to 2 people a month, I feel steady there, Mary. What can I work on? Learning something new or testing. Okay, so y'all know I love me some testing. You guys know that. If you're testing a new party platform, a new party format, a length of party content, anything like that, you guys, is a great time to test it. Okay, it's a great time to test it, because you can, when I say testing, okay, friends, hear me on this. When I say testing something new, I don't mean do it once and then be like, yep, that didn't work. No, you need to do something 8, 10, 12 times to know if it didn't work. So if you want to try something new, maybe you have your normal schedule and you're like, hey, I want to go try this platform over here. I'm going to book 8 to 10 parties on that. See if I can get those systems worked out. See if I like it. See what my results are compared to my normal parties. Make sense? So you kind of work them in tandem. You could also do, like, if you're thinking about social media. Okay, so again, if your other stuff is nailed down, what if you've been struggling to show up on social? You're like, man, I know I'm missing the boat by not posting on my business page, or not going live, or not showing up in my VIP group, or, ooh, I really want to try Instagram or Pinterest or YouTube or something like that. then make your April a push month to propel that channel forward. Okay, April, I am showing up every day in my VIP group, man. I've got really good content. I'm going to practice creating graphics. I'm going to practice writing really good captions. Oh, on my Facebook page, I'm going to show up 2 times a week live and see what happens. I'm going to do some really good live videos. Or maybe if you're wanting to expand into YouTube, I'm going to create 1 YouTube video a week and see what happens for the whole month of April. Okay. So again, a push month, doing something beyond what you're normally doing. And as you do that, you can create those systems. Another one is follow-up, guys. This is where we all tend to fall down. Let's just be real. Most of us tend to fall down. So even if you fell off the wagon like back in January or February, okay, it's okay. You can spend some time in April being like, you know what, I'm going to do some heavy customer care. I'm going to do some heavy customer care. And then maybe I'm going to try to automate that system. I'm going to try to build up that system where I can automate it a little bit more. So for the next 30 days, I am doing my job following up with my customers because my booking and my recruiting and all that fun stuff is in place. Okay. But here's the bottom line, friends. You can do anything for 30 days. I'm not saying go buck wild crazy for the next 6 months. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that you can hone in and focus on an area of your business that you want to improve for 30 days. 30 days, just knuckle down and get it done, okay? And as you do that, as you think about the power of doing something consistently for 30 days, if you did, we don't balk at this. If somebody was like, hey, I challenge you to eat a donut every day for 30 days, we'd be like, game on. Okay. Where are they coming from? What do they taste like? Can I put in my order? Right. Or if you did a challenge where you're like, hey, just do 10 sit-ups every day for 30 days. Okay. I can do that. That's pretty easy, but I want you to think about what it does. So, doing something consistently allows you to build habits. So that means that if you're really working on booking parties, if you're really working on recruiting, after 30 days, the habit is built. It's almost like muscle. It's almost like muscle memory, right? It's almost like muscle memory. So I know when I show up to the party, if I haven't been recruiting, but then all of a sudden I just go gung ho for 30 days and I am working on my recruiting messages. I'm working on like really onboarding really well. The next time I go to a party, I'm like, bam, bam, bam. It just becomes natural. Same thing with booking parties. It becomes very natural for me because I've been so focused on it for 30 days. Am I making sense? Lisa says no sit-ups. She's not doing sit-ups. What about plank? You can do a plank for 30 days, right? Just do like 30 seconds or 15, maybe 15 seconds. I don't know. It depends on how long you can hold it. Push-ups, I don't know. You can do whatever you want, okay? So we need to do, but besides the sit-ups and the crunches and all that fun stuff, we need to do this with our business, guys. We need to hone in and focus on one area and get it done, because we can sit here all day and say things like, oh, one day I'm going to do that. One day I'm going to do this, but we're not actually doing it. Let me challenge you on one thing. So I just got off a couple of coaching calls this morning. Let me challenge you on one thing. What if, some of y'all aren't going to like me. What if, I'm not saying names, but what if you tracked your time for 30 days that you spend on your business? Do you think your business would be completely different in 30 days? I think it'd be different in 2 weeks. Okay. If you track your time for 30 days, the time that you spend on your business, that would be so powerful, because what would you do? You would cut stuff out. You would streamline. You would be so efficient. Your business would be completely different in May. Am I making sense? Because you honed in and you focused and you're like, you know what? I'm going to streamline my time. I'm going to automate. I'm going to delegate. I'm going to be as efficient as possible. That would be a really fun one. That was not on my list, but that would be really fun if you tracked your time for 30 days. I bet it would change your business. Okay. So I would be really curious. What's one area that you guys feel like you need to work on for the next 30 days? And what are you going to do about it? Okay. What are you going to focus on for the next 30 days to push, to propel your business forward and build momentum in whatever area you need to work on? Okay. I can tell you we're doing some things here in my business to do some propelling and some moving the business forward. And we're concentrating on a few things, and it does get a little rowdy. But we also recognize it takes us about 30 days to build a system. So we are working on developing the systems and developing the habits and developing the processes. In fact, I was talking with my team and we're like, okay, by the end of April, we want everything like mechanical because we've done so many new things in the last few months. We're like, we just want it to be streamlined. We know exactly what we're doing every single week. We know who's doing it and how it's getting done. So just think about that. How can you do that same thing in your business? How can you build momentum? How can you become more efficient? How can you build habits? Whatever area you need to work on. I'm seeing bookings. Yeah, that seems to be a common thread. That seems to be a common thread, you guys. Okay, what can I do to start changing my business? Okay, and where's the area that I need to build some momentum? All right, guys, have a fabulous rest of your week. All right, bye, guys.